Welcome to another episode of the Organizedpreneur Podcast. This is a live episode where we help female entrepreneurs get organized, get heard, and get leads using the Launch, Host, and Grow methodology. Welcome to today's live broadcast. So I'm super excited about today because I'm going to be talking about my favorite topic. And you might be able to guess what it is, but you might not. Today I'm going to be talking about business systems and why that is the backbone of your 2026 business success. So again, I want to welcome you to another episode, and we're talking about business systems and why they matter in 2026. I think they have always mattered. That's why I'm always talking about systems, right? But I think even more so in 2026. And so why 2026? Well, I don't know, because that's the incoming year maybe. But 2026, I believe, will absolutely reward us as female entrepreneurs who desire to work smarter and not harder. There are, and you've heard me say this before, there are a lot of moving parts in podcasting and a lot of moving parts in business. And so I believe that 2026 can be your breakthrough year if you put in some systems, the right kind of systems for your business and your podcast. Now, the reason that I believe that it will reward us in 2026 is because it will reduce decision fatigue. Like when you have a lot of decisions to make, whether to be on this platform, whether to be on social media, whether to create newsletters, all of those things, when you have systems in place, guess what? You can almost set it and forget it, right? But it reduces decision fatigue, and it makes your business easier to manage. And who doesn't want that? You want to have a business that outworks you rather than you outworking your business. If that makes sense. Put a yes in the chat if that's what you want. Put a Y in the chat or yes in the chat if you want your business to be easier to manage in 2026. It also eliminates chaos, right? It eliminates chaos. And it increases your capacity. It increases your capacity. And a lot of people want to increase their capacity without having to hire new people. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But when you have systems in place, you don't have to do that. Okay, when you have the right systems in place. And if you want 2026 to feel lighter, clearer, and more profitable, you might want to build some better systems. So that's why I feel like 2026 can be way more profitable for you and can be your breakthrough year if you add more systems. Okay. So I want to just briefly talk about the 4 systems that every entrepreneur needs, whether this is the incoming year or please start now. Okay. Let's just start now. Because if you want to have a better business, you're going to need these 4 systems that we're going to talk about. Okay. Number 1, you need a lead generation system, a lead generating system. Okay. So that you can predict leads and revenue. So predictable leads predict revenue. Okay. And that includes your podcast, that includes your content, that includes your list building, that includes your funnel, all of that. you need systems for, right? So that's the first system, okay? The second system, you need a delivery system. You need a client delivery system. You need a way to deliver your product, your service, whether it's your coaching, whatever that is, you need a way to do that, particularly if you are an online business. Now, even if you're offline, you're going to need some systems to deliver your a client delivery system. Okay, because a smooth client experience equals higher retention. They're going to stay longer. They're going to talk about you to other people, how great their experience was, right? So a smooth client experience equals higher retention. And that system includes onboarding, like you need onboarding templates, and that's whether you are um, an online business owner or if you have a brick and mortar business and you want to onboard them. Some things you may not need because you're doing this in person when you have, you know, um, a brick and mortar business. But if you have an online business, this is essential. This is essential. So you need an onboarding system. You need templates, welcome emails. You need service workflows. You need offboarding processes. And as a matter of fact, I would recommend, even if you have that in place, that you need to review it for the incoming year. Because some of you may be pivoting, and even if you're not pivoting, then you do need to review it to make sure that there's nothing falling through the cracks. This is a good time right now to do that, to review all of your processes. So you need a client delivery system. Number 3, you need a content and podcasting system. If you have a podcast, you need a podcasting system. If you're an online business owner, you need a content system. Okay. And for the incoming year, 2026, consistency will beat going viral every single time. Don't focus on going viral. Focus on having a system and a process for your content and your podcast and your content related to your business. Again, if you are an online entrepreneur in this online space. You want to use content batching, right? So, for example, maybe Fridays are your content creation days. And I say that because that's mine. My content creation day is on Fridays. Okay. Repurposing routines, anything that, like, if you can take one piece of content and repurpose that into several pieces of content, articles, emails, videos, podcasts, you want to make sure that you have a content system in place and a podcasting system in place. Optimization, AI optimization for discovery, right? You want to make sure that you have optimized your content so that people discover more about who you are and how you can help them. Okay? You need a content and podcasting system for your 90-day runway. I'm calling that a runway. Okay? Your 90-day runway. So that's number 3, a content and podcasting system. Number 4, you need a personal productivity system, because guess what? As an entrepreneur, you are the CEO. Okay? Particularly if you're a solo entrepreneur, you are the CEO. Okay? So what your personal productivity system may look like, for example, time blocking. That's not anything that's new that I've talked about. As a matter of fact, I do have some episodes on that. But time blocking, weekly resets, CEO days, personal development as a CEO. Maybe there's some books that you need to read. There's some masterminds that you're a part of, right? Networking events that you need to show up at, maybe, right? Quarterly reviews. Every quarter, you need to be reviewing what your personal productivity looks like, because things change. They will change. This world is changing. Everything is changing. And so you want to make sure that as you move into this incoming year, 2026, that you have systems in place. What systems again? Lead generation systems, client delivery systems, content and podcasting systems, and number 4, personal productivity systems. Okay. So the last thing I want to talk about is, and I talk about this pretty much in every episode. You may be tired of it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. You can close your ears if you don't want to hear it. But APACT, APACT, applied to systems. The A stands for what? Assess. You want to assess what's broken. The P stands for prioritize. You want to prioritize what to fix first. Can't fix everything. Okay? Can't fix everything. The A stands for automate what can be streamlined. So you want to automate those things. Okay? C stands for calendarize in the APACT system. The T stands for track. Track your system success. Make sure that things are not falling through the cracks. Okay? So that's pretty much what I had to talk about for this episode. I will be back, as you know, I'm always coming back. So on the next episode, I'm going to be talking about creating your 2026 visibility and growth plan. Okay. And here's the thing. If you don't put these in place, if you don't put these 2026 business systems in place, it's going to be hard to grow in 2026, right? So I really want you to pay attention to the systems that you have in place, or maybe you don't have those systems in place. You need to go ahead and review those things. Okay. Now, if you need help, make sure you reach out to me. Okay. Because I am here, and I invite you to a complimentary call, a complimentary success call, where I can help you to fill in the gaps between where you are now and where you're trying to go. Maybe it's an audit on the systems that you're looking to put in place, or maybe you don't realize that there's something missing, but maybe if things feel a little bit dysfunctional in your business, or disjointed, or you feel like things are falling through the cracks, then I invite you to a complimentary call where you will leave with some type of strategy to help you move forward in the coming year. So the link will be in the show notes or the description of this video. All right. So I like to leave you with a scripture. Today's scripture is 1 Corinthians 14:40, and it says, "Let all things be done decently and in order." So if anything resonated with you, make sure that you reach out to me. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next episode of the Organizedpreneur Show. Have an amazing day.